Hello everyone, and welcome to another
Hello.
fantasy preview. This time for the eighth game of the 100, and we have the team that
Yes.
played first, Southern Brave, versus the team that played just recently, that is
Yep.
Birmingham Phoenix with Moin Ali and Liam Livingston. And welcome to
Yes.
you, Nikhil Bhai. And how do you see today's game panning out?
Yes. So far we've been good. Thankfully, hope that continues. Very good to see people have been using the inputs very smartly.
Yes.
So again, that's the purpose of the videos. Coming to today's game, I feel Southern Braves should be favorites. Uh, Again, purely because much
Hmm.
better in-form players as compared to Birmingham Phoenix. I think Phoenix don't have too many guys in form. But if they click as a unit, then Birmingham become a very strong team. But even from last year, both games were won by Southern Brave.
Hmm.
Finalists they last get. So I think that will play. It'll all play on their minds, but they know enough to overpower the other.
Right, and I guess this game will be played on the same ground where most of the Commonwealth games were played. I guess it's at
Yes.
Birmingham. So, do you
Yes.
see the ground or the pitch being slow because of the fact that a lot of games were played there, or is there any information on the pitch being relayed or anything of that sort?
I do feel it will be a bit more slow,
Hmm.
and which is why when we discuss teams, we will discuss a few options that can be tried in those scenarios. And it is still a very short venue. There are
Hmm.
very short boundaries, so I expect runs probably around 150, 160, and then people are not holding catches and dropping dollies and whatnot. But yeah, as long as it's working, I don't think anybody is complaining. But something to remember that if your visualization did not work, like I dropped Maran in many games, hoping he'll
Hmm.
get out, thinking he'll get out. He would have been
Hmm.
dropped. He was dropped in single digits. So
Yeah.
again, that also works. So you are right to back him also, and you are right to drop him also. Just see the game and then take a call like that.
Yeah, in fact, there were many points yesterday where he edged the ball here and there, and he got lucky, got away. And yes, the one drop catch that you're talking about too.
Yeah,
So anyway, now that we're talking about Milan, it gives me a slight chance to show off my 12th rank in yesterday's leaderboard contest.
yeah,
And like always happy to be right up there. And I see many of the people who are in the leaderboard contests are up there in the top 100. So I think it's a good time for you guys to push on and make a few more teams. And I'm not the right person to say that because I myself made only 4 to 5 teams yesterday. But yes, I'm also looking to up the ante and make a few more teams there because yes, it's the right time for you to go on and seize that leaderboard.
yes. Again, the advantage is, as we keep saying, if you back a particular scenario, think it will happen. You don't need to always play small leagues with that combination. You can play leaderboard
Hmm.
contest because that's where it benefits and gives you much rewards, not just in that game but also in the entire leaderboard. So I think that's how you guys should think and make multiple teams. Jai Mata Di.
Yes, and like you can see yesterday in that team, many questions regarding why I took only two batters. So I like if you saw our base team and my base team that I shared on the main group that had quite a few batters, but the reason I favored a few all rounders is because I felt like even if there's a short collapse, which I had posted in the GL tips right before posting the team, is I feel like against Luke Wood, Faf, or might give their wicket away, and fortunately, both of them gave their wicket away. So yeah, those things don't work every day, but when they work,
Yeah.
they look good. That's how it is.
Yes, so of course you'll always need luck to go your way, but yeah, that's what it is about, right? When it goes your way, you have to win big because only then it makes sense.
Yes, totally. So let's discuss the base team then for today's game. And just give me a minute. So first up, we have the keepers, and we are
Yeah.
expecting Quentin de Kock to be available today. So he will slot straight into our team in both scenarios, whether batting first or batting second. And do you see Chris Benjamin making it into this team or Alex Davies if they bat first?
With Quinton in, I think Davis will bat at four, so
Hmm.
that reduces his potential. He doesn't have great numbers at the venue,
Hmm.
and but what you can definitely try out is drop Quinton if you feel Moin will take him out early. He's had that matchup with Moin quite a few times. He hasn't
Hmm.
had a great South Africa series against England, so If you feel he'll not work out in Grand League teams, definitely drop Quinton. But in small league, you'll probably keep him because he'll always give you many points with keeping. So I
Right.
think that's a call that you can take whether you feel he'll give points with keeping or batting, and then take Benjamin if they're batting second maybe,
Hmm.
and Alex Davis if you feel that if Quinton is going out early, you will need somebody to score runs, and Davis can then do that in the middle overs.
Right. Okay, so for now we can go with one keeper
Yeah.
because we have a lot of other options. In the batting, we'll all take Livingston, Vince, and David. Smeed looks
Yes.
slightly patchy in the first game, but I feel like we can back him because of that last season. What do you think?
Yeah, and he's also had good numbers as well at this particular venue, playing at their home
Hmm.
ground. Uh, Maybe batting first, I'll definitely take him. Again,
Hmm.
batting second, maybe not, because I feel Southern Brave will win. So then my combination will have only such players who will be like David Villa, multifaceted.
Hmm.
Give me points with both bat and ball.
Right. Fair enough. Then the
Yeah.
all-rounders, Moeen Ali again slots himself in. Marcus Stoinis, I guess, didn't bowl his full set, and even
Yeah.
in this game, he's going to come up against the likes of Tahir, Livingston, all of whom can trouble with turn. So, do you feel like he'll be a straightforward pick?
Stan is not always confident about him without seeing
Hmm.
much of him. As we said, as you said in the last game, he didn't do much. There were other guys who did more, so that makes him a slightly tricky pick. But yeah, very differential option if you want to try out, because
Hmm.
he could potentially be pushed up the order as well. You don't know that. Last game they had a very easy chase, so
Hmm.
things were very different then. But yeah, a good option to try out. Might not be part of the base team, I feel.
Right. In fact, even I'm remembering that even Tim David didn't bat in the last game. So,
Yeah.
if you
But
guys
Team
feel
David
like
could bowl. Team
yeah,
David
he
could bowl.
lot of lefties today. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of lefties today, which is why Team David makes it. And Team David was in form also. So
Hmm.
that's the
That works
logic
for
behind
him.
backing Team David
Hmm.
over Marcus Stoneys for now. But you can, yeah, easily swap the two.
Fair enough. Then in the bowling section, Chris Jordan, Jake Lintott, I feel both will make our team in either
Yeah.
scenario. And Imran
Yes.
Tahir, even though he didn't really pick much in the last game. Last pick, who do you feel? Would you go with someone like Kane Richardson if he's bowling first, or Craig Overton, or do you want to reduce a batter and slot in both?
I think Craig Overton won't play.
Hmm.
If he does, then he definitely slots into the side. But a very handy differential pick could be James Fuller,
Hmm.
or Timal Mills, or Kane Richardson. So these are the three picks. Whoever plays slots into the team right away. And especially if Kane Richardson bowled first, because he's likely
Hmm.
to bowl at the death. And the thing to remember is both these teams don't have enough batting. So you could,
Fair enough.
if you get those few wickets early, you could have a lot of wickets in the end overs. So
Death, yeah.
that is
Hmm.
something that you can use. कि अगर जॉर्डन पहले bowling कर रहा है तो ग्रैंड लीग में he could be a very good vice captain option for you with James Vince to try, क्योंकि Vince तो I think common captain सभी का होगा. So
Hmm.
yeah, like that he can be tried out.
Fair enough. So I feel like in from whatever insights you just gave us, Kane Richardson and James Fuller, if they both play, can make this a very balanced team because
Yeah.
then we have three guys who have the capability to bowl the full set. Only one thing that I feel is Ali will come up against a lot of righties in Southern Brave. So do you feel like his quota might get cut somewhere, or because of the fact that he's an international and so experienced that he should just get his full quota?
I think Ali and Livingston might share the duties then in
Hmm.
today's game. I feel Livingston might be used even more.
Hmm.
Uh, Again, depending on matchups. So I think both you will anyways take both of them. It's just a question
Right.
of who you are more confident of. And Moinani loves this venue. He has some exceptional, not I would say exceptional, but some very good memories
Hmm.
or time at the venue. So maybe while batting first, I'll back Moin more as compared to bowling first. Bowling first, I might want to back Livingston more. So yeah, that's a call that you can take in terms of who do you back more, because as you said, that point will come into consideration when you're thinking captain, vice captain.
Hmm.
Because as I said, bowling first, he could come in and just bowl to Quinton, get him out, and then not
Right.
bowl at all. So
Hmm.
that is something that you have to figure out, that how you think Moin will bowl, because you're also going to take Kane Richardson, especially if they
Hmm.
bowl first. So you will eventually end up compromising the team. So yeah, effectively go with your gut feel. Then we've shared a few scenarios that could work.
Fair enough. So, do you feel like for now the base team, someone like Liam would be the right captaincy choice, and maybe vice captain could go to either Ali or David, or if you want to go safe, then someone like Vince.
Yeah, I think safe option will be wins,
Hmm.
uh, and then I think the rest all they make it a very uh, good risky captain options if you want to try mini jails. That is Livingston, Moeen Ali, Chris Jordan, Jake Lintott. They could really, and I don't know why, but Rehan Ahmed, if he bowls second, I'm very
Hmm.
interested in him. Similar to Dawson, what we discussed about Dawson. If bowling second, if you feel it's a huge deck, then Rehan Ahmed could really come into his own and take a lot of wickets bowling second. So Imran Tahir could also do that, but again,
In
you
fact,
have
all the
you
bowlers that we have on show are pretty much guys who on their day can take 3 or 4 wickets. There's no real
exactly.
defensive bowler. So all these guys become GL choices, pacers when they bowl
Yes,
first and spinners when they bowl second.
yes. Well summarized.
Yes. So for now, we'll stick to the two safe guns for us who can
Yep.
contribute in both departments.
All rounders FC as always.
Yes. And that makes the team have one keeper, four batters, two all-rounders, and four bowlers. Apart from that,
Yeah.
what rotations, as we just discussed, to summarize, we feel like Marcus Stoinis we have currently not picked because of the kind of spinners he'll come up against, and second because he's going to bowl against batters who don't really spare medium pace. So that is the
Yep.
reason that Stoinis does not feature in this team. Grandly, captaincy and vice captaincy choices would go to people like David and the bowlers if base pacers if they're bowling first and spinners when they're bowling second.
Yep.
So in case you missed that, that's the summary for you. Apart from that, this is the bonus. This is the leaderboard contest that is currently live on the Fan2Play app. And if you have not signed up yet, you also get the first 4 games free. So you can sign up from the link in the
Yes.
description. And yes, there's also a free entry contest. So better not leave this one because this one too fills very fast and you'll not
Yeah.
get any spots. So that
Yeah.
is the team discussion from our end. Apart from that, whatever questions you guys have, we are always happy to answer.
Yes. And while we get questions, maybe you can just show them the prizes that they can win if they top the leaderboard.
Yes.
Just a good incentive that maybe Viren could also win these. I missed a few games due to my flights, but yeah, Viren just latched on to those chances next time. Yes, if
So
you have any questions, do share. And yeah, any feedback also if you want us to add something because I think we've been discussing in detail almost most players. But yes, if you feel there is something that we are missing out on, happy to know and happy to address that as well.
always, totally. And these are the leaderboard prizes on show. And my eyes are not on the first two because I'm sort of anti bike, but yes, I surely want the third prize. So, yes, if you're a bike fan, you have that spot spare from me now. So, the bike and the
Ah,
scooter in the first two, the phone is the third prize. Then there are smartwatches, headphones, and there's that always prestigious India jersey and the fan to play jersey as well as some cash bonus. So there's a lot on offer. And yes, don't
yep.
feel like cash bonus is that scammy cash bonus which you can't use anywhere. You can use it in Grand League. You can even use it in small
Yes.
leagues on this app. So
Yes.
there's no worry in that regard.
या देखो भाई का दिल कितना बड़ा है आपके लिए बाइक छोड़ दिए तो ऐसे लोग ज़्यादा नहीं मिलते तो go ahead play have shoot your shot as they say and get this done.
Totally, totally. Great insights yesterday. Brilliant job. Thank you so much. We hope we could help and sort your teams out.
Yeah, that's the aim, right? You help people getting better.
ये प्रिडिक्शन है कि ये आपका ये गट फीलिंग है ये तो बता दो आयुष प्रिडिक्शन है या किधर पड़ा है वो हिसाब से ही हम कुछ बोल पाएंगे
And the thing with this is we don't know, we don't get the pitch report for 100. That's one of the biggest problems that you have. You don't
hmm.
usually see captains discussing that at the toss. Maybe it's a potential sponsor deal that somebody can plug in somewhere. कि देखो, क्योंकि इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट, अगर हाइब्रिड विकेट है तो आपको अलग तरीके का बाउंस मिलेगा, अगर टर्फ है तो इट विल बी अ मच मोर बैलेंस्ड, मच मोर इवन काइंड ऑफ अ सरफेस. तो all these things could matter. Uh, Regarding Tamil Mills, I think he said that he was likely to be playing the second game. So as
Hmm.
we said, he is the only pacer in this game. अगर आप दोनों टीम्स की लाइनअप देखें तो कोई एक्सप्रेस पेस है तो एक ही है, और जो है तेमाल मिल्स का. आपको स्लोअर बॉल्स कटर्स वाले बहुत बॉलर्स मिल जाएंगे आज. क्रिस जॉर्डन है, केन रिचर्डसन है, टॉम हेल्बी इज फाइन, बट तेमाल मिल्स कुड गिव यू दैट एक्सप्रेस पेस एंड वेरिएशंस एज वेल.
Yes, totally. So that in itself is a differential choice.
Yep.
Do you reckon David will bowl? So yeah, we feel like there are a lot of left-handers in the opposition, so he should at least get a set of five to start off and see how it works for him. So that's what we feel.
Yeah, but this is the 100, trying to encapsulate what TNPL did. So please be very sure. And if you feel that he will not bowl, you can drop him while batting second. If you feel that उसका बैटिंग नहीं आएगा जैसे फर्स्ट गेम में हुआ था, तो again go with these scenarios. Like yes, I think yesterday was a perfect example where you felt very strongly about one side and you made a team in
Hmm.
favor of that, and then you make multiple rotations, drop one player, take the another, and you could still end up with a very good rank right through the grand league. So I think that's the way to go about it.
Yes, absolutely. Do you think so? Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
he just answered. So it totally depends on if you feel like David is going to get 15 balls or less. I will not say more than 15 because he's
Hmm.
someone who can cause destruction. But yeah, if you feel like he'll
Yeah.
come with only three or four sets left, then it's fine to drop him. Otherwise, it's too risky. And
Yeah.
yes, someone asking, can we pick him first? Bowling, that is slightly tough to do, right? Because we are not sure if
Yeah.
he's going to bowl. And I always say this that you should always try and pick a player for their primary skill first. If you feel like they'll work for that primary skill, then the secondary skill is just a bonus to back you up.
Yeah. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
Over dependency on someone who's safe and not backing someone who failed initially but gone mad when dropped. That is fantasy, Manish. Like
Hmm.
many a times I get questions on why I'm backing a player game after game after game, but you know that like the kind of leagues that we join first, even in those games where he does not work, he'll mostly give you his investment back. But the game where he'll fire, he'll give you that 8 10x and then everything will seem worth it. So if you're playing that sort of league, then it makes sense. If you're playing a small league only, then maybe you have to rely on that form because then that one game will not make as much of a difference to your return.
And see, eventually it is about how you are visualizing the game. If you feel a certain player is going to play a certain role, and there has to be various scenarios, like say for example David Malan yesterday. No, that was his first 50 of the entire season, if I'm not wrong, in terms of the matches that he played versus South Africa as well. So, and he was dropped. So, dropping him was also right because you felt he was not in the great form, averages 19 at the venue. So, if you went with data, it was right. If you get with gut feel that he'll get out early, it was right. But he got
Right.
dropped. Now, that is something that's beyond you. You can't control that. But next game now, as we did discuss about him not taking a risk, and that's the thing with great players. If you give them one chance, if you have to remember, he was a number one ranked T20 batter for a while, so definitely he knows a thing about getting runs. They may not always be impactful, but your fantasy team doesn't care about impact. It
Mm.
cares about runs and points more. So I think you can always back your players. And with regards to safe and risky, I think you can go with leagues, as Viren rightly said. इट्स अपॉन द लीग्स, आप किस तरह की लीग ज्वाइन कर रहे हो वो डिसाइड करती हैं कि आपको कैसे टीम बनानी है. अगर आप सेफ लीग्स खेल रहे हो तो फिर सेफ टीम के साथ जाओ. अगर आप रिस्की लीग्स खेल रहे हो तो रिस्की कॉम्बिनेशन के साथ जाओ.
Bilkul. And someone's asking for the ground dimensions for this ground. I'll just share them. Give me 1 second. So this is at Baston, and like Nikhil Bhai mentioned, square boundaries are pretty short. You can see 63 and 69, which is just slightly bigger than Lords. So if you saw the game at Lords that day, they were just dinking it over the fence.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty short square. One side straight is also pretty short. Other side is slightly bigger. So yeah, that's why we were mentioning that it makes it risky to drop someone like David, because for him even an 80-meter boundary is going to be short. So yes,
And
those are the
also,
sort of players you want to back here.
good point to remember here. Despite them dinking it over the fence, chasing was hard at Lords
Hmm.
because the pitch was such. So there are multiple factors, not one thing. It's not very black and white always, because cricket is a very condition dependent game. And yeah, so keep an eye on the pitch and play second innings fantasy because that's where you'll make most money.
And you'll know how the pitch already was.
Exactly, which is why you will make the most money, right? Because that is the biggest uneven in cricket. That's the biggest uneven that's there.
Totally. Why not Benny Howell? So we mentioned last time also that if Benny Howell is bowling first, we'll have
Yeah,
him in the team. And currently the balance of our team is such that we have tried to fit in specialists. If we feel
yeah,
like a batter has a reason to fail, we'll slot him out and take someone like Howell because he is also
yeah.
valuable in both departments.
So you could effectively still drop Fuller for Howell if you want. So again, it's a
Hmm.
call. With 100, you will always get hundreds of all-rounders, which is why we ask you to play on Fan2Play because you can slot five of them in your team. So yeah, you can definitely take Benny
Right.
Howell as well.
Can I share ground and pitch info for all the grounds like I sent for BBL? So to be honest, Mayank, I don't like get this from anybody. It's just like a database of storage that I already have. So whichever games I have it for, I happily share it in the live. But I
Yeah.
don't have it for all the grounds. So जहाँ पे भी है, I'm happy to share always.
Yep.
Uh, Observe one thing: if top order gets out early, Jordan might not have that chance, as it happened in the first match as well. What's your say on this one?
सर देखो ये तो it's not in anybody's
Hmm.
control, right? It could be it could happen like yesterday where there are early wickets, then there is a partnership, and then Jordan comes back and he bowls well but doesn't take wickets. So these are the times when you have to decide whether you want to back a player for his role or you want to back your visualization on the game. So you can take a call. अगर आपको लगता है कि यार मेरी विजुअलाइजेशन बोल रही है कि ऐसा होगा और जॉर्डन को विकेट्स नहीं मिलेंगे तो जॉर्डन को मत लो, पर अगर आपको लगता है कि ऐसा होगा पर फिर भी जॉर्डन को एंड में आके एक दो विकेट तो मिल जाएंगे तो यू कैन टेक हिम. ट्राई टू मेक इट
Yes.
सिंपलर फॉर यू सो दैट इट्स नॉट टू टैक्सिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ बहुत ज्यादा थॉट्स भी कभी कभी हार्मफुल होते हैं. तो
Hmm.
इधर गो विथ योर गट फील और यू गो विथ डेटा और यू कैन मिक्स एंड मैच बोथ एंड प्ले विथ टू टीम्स.
Yes, and it's very important for you to eliminate and we keep repeating this, it sounds
Yeah,
boring, but it's very important for you to eliminate the player who you're backing against in that phase. So, for example, if you're backing Jordan to take 3 wickets in the death, it's very important for you to eliminate the finisher of the opposing team, because then there's a high likelihood that he would get eliminated in that scenario. Just like yesterday, I spoke about the fact that if I'm expecting Luke Wood to take wickets up front, the first thing I need to do is eliminate either one of the openers, or if I
yes,
feel mad, then eliminate both. So and when you do that, out of 22, you're automatically cutting out 3 or 4 players straight right
yes,
there. So that reduces the confusion for you.
yes.
Okay, any other questions? Happy to take them, else we can close for today. Okay. Should we go with 6-5 combos? So currently we have gone with 6-5 because we are expecting a more competitive game. The teams that
Yeah,
really seem down and out till now are Northern Superchargers and Welsh Fire, because they don't have as much T20 firepower in terms of their batting. But apart from that, most games we have pretty much gone balanced till now.
yeah. 7-4 can only be if you feel Southern Brave will again bowl first. Uh, Basically a repeat of yesterday.
Yes, totally. And guys, I'm seeing very less engagement today. I या तो like button मार दो या question पूछ दो. How will we know who's here and who has all the right questions and insights? Any common player that you think can fail today or might not give you enough points due to their role, like Shanzi yesterday? Interesting question, Arnav, but like we always maintain this, that at many points, if you feel like in the first innings there's a spinner who will be played out in the middle sets, it's okay for you to eliminate that person. But because this game is going to be a more competitive one, you can do that more in one-sided games. But in competitive games, it's important for you to back the right players.
And the issue with even somebody like a Shamsi, and I'm glad you bring this up. We did discuss this yesterday that
Hmm.
Shamsi's first games are not always great, but maybe next time if he's bowling first, he'll take two, three, and that's the risk with people like Shamsi, Imran Tahir, that if they take one in their first over, notice this with Yuzvendra Chahal, notice this with Kuldeep Yadav as well. These are the kind of bowlers when they take one, they could eventually end up with 3, 4, and then that could cost your game massively. So what you can do is maybe have them in one combination, and then if you feel कि नहीं जैसे वीरेन ने कहा फर्स्ट इनिंग्स है, यू एक्सपेक्ट देम टू बी प्लेड आउट, तो फिर उस सिनेरियो में उन्हें ड्रॉप करके आगे बढ़ो. बट ये हमेशा याद रखो, जिस दिन उनका दिन होगा ये रुलाएंगे. तो दैट्स द थिंग विद सच काइंड ऑफ प्लेयर्स.
Yes, Birmingham are expected to win. Looks like. What are your thoughts on this? And can Smeed perform big today and Lintott on his home ground? So, Ketan, we are expecting. We have not really thought of a winner in terms of this game yet, because if you see the Birmingham batting, except for Livingston and Ali, if you remove them out, even if one of them, yeah, last match they both performed with the bat, but
Yeah,
both these teams, their batting is slightly thin if you eliminate
yeah.
their top order batters. So it's that's why we are insisting on going on sort of a balanced combination. But yeah, you can surely in GL try going with a few set of players who you feel are really going to work.
Yeah, and Lintott, I backed him in the first game. He took only one wicket. Hopefully today is the day where he takes 3, 4.
This is a very interesting point, and we are seeing this with Quinton de Kock that he's been throwing his wicket away, especially against good bowling. So this is surely a chance for taking, especially because Nikhil Bhai mentioned again someone like Ali, that chance only increases by 15-20% more.
Yes, and the thing is, he also has an average of around 17, if I'm not wrong, batting first in England. So again, definitely always worth a drop, but keeping points. If you feel Southern Brave will win, they'll take a lot of wickets. तो उसको 3, 4 कैच तो मिल ही जाएंगे. तो that
Hmm.
is still not a bad guy to pick. And see, one game he will come good, like he did in that third ODI, I think, if I'm not wrong. But so that's the risk that you take with such players, because usually they go very safe. But yeah, I think eventually it's a gut feel call. जैसे मैंने कहा, कैप्टन वाइस कैप्टन शायद मत मत बनाओ, बट अगर आपको
Hmm.
लगता है कि ब्रेव जीतेगी तो उनको टीम में रखना, क्योंकि वो कीपिंग से अच्छे पॉइंट्स दे सकते हैं आपको.
Yes, absolutely. And tell us your gut feel calls for today's match. So सब इधर ही बता देंगे, तो आप टेलीग्राम पे क्या सुनोगे यार, थोड़ा आप वहां भी आ जाओ. फैंटेसी क्रिक प्रो हमारा टेलीग्राम चैनल है, वहां पे आके. But to on a honest note, I feel like gut feel is something that really hits you either when you know the pitch or
Yeah,
when you know the toss. Because
yeah,
before that, for you to feel or figure out something about the game is difficult. Whatever we discuss here is more like of a base scenario from a small league
yeah.
scenario. But yeah, whatever crazy gut feels you get are generally right at toss
Yes,
time.
बिल्कुल. आई थिंक एंड दैट इज हाउ इट शुड बी, राइट? इतना पहले पता चलता रहेगा तो हम दोनों करोड़पति होते हैं यार. होपफुली वन डे.
Just seen the observation at 11 p.m. games on this venue. Whoever bats first makes a big score, and second innings gets out early. Quite interesting that.
Yeah, I think it's more than the 11 p.m. I think it's the venues. We did discuss that at Lords yesterday. Also, it happened. Yesterday, I was expecting more runs, but we eventually did get them because David Vizia played well. But and second innings also, it could have been easy win for them had they taken David Malan out early, because then
Hmm.
that would have brought Joe Root in, Colin Munro in. So it's a tricky thing. जैसे देखो, वन साइडेड सोचना हमेशा ट्रिकी होता है. If it works, you will be in the top 5% of the teams, but if it doesn't, you will be in the bottom five. So the variance is going to be massive. But if you feel very strongly about it, we keep saying multiple combinations are the way to go. Make a balanced team one, but a risky team two, and then invest accordingly.
Yes, and it's very important for you to also earmark what leagues you want to play. Don't get
Yeah.
confused ki I won 3,000 yesterday, so today I'll put 299 league mein all my money. Those are not the things that you should do, because like every fantasy player that I know a few guys who have been talking to me since 2.5 years when I was initially playing, and I had very few members. The only one thing that they have done all across is put an equal amount of money in every game, and
Yeah.
then if they've increased their budget, then in the next cycle again for 10 games they've put an equal amount of money, irrespective of whether they've gone up or gone down in them. So it's very important to have that discipline.
Yes. कोई भी चीज़ करो, टू अर्न यू हैव टू हैव डिसिप्लिन एंड प्रोसेस, विदाउट दैट लॉन्ग टर्म प्रॉफिट नहीं होगा।
Can't say
सर ये तो दुख है
that's
लाइफ
true.
का।
Yeah, that's that's true. But then that Harsh, if you look at it, if you're playing with multiple combinations, that's also an
या
advantage, right? Because then everybody is in the game for you in some way or the other. So if you're a Grand League player, this tournament is great. In terms of batting orders, I've seen that at least in the first 7, 8 games, whatever batting orders we have got from the broadcasters, it's pretty much been it. So we have not faced those kind of problems yet.
Yeah, I think the only problem that you think with too many bowling options is when only one bowler takes a wicket. That is
Hmm.
the only problem with such leagues that have like somebody like a Jordan Thompson.
I
अभी
was
अगर
just
एक ही
thinking of
हाँ,
that.
अभी अगर एक ही बॉलर लेगा विकेट्स तो यू आर डन एंड यू आर
Hmm.
आउट ऑफ द लीग्स, बिकॉज अगर आपके ओपोनेंट के पास है तो यू हैव नो चांस टू कम बैक। बट अगर मल्टीपल ऑप्शन है एंड इफ एवरीबडी इज टेकिंग वन और टू वन और टू वन और टू, लाइक इट हैपेंड यस्टरडे कि भाई फ्लेचर ने दो ले लिए, तो लुकवुड ने भी दो ही लिए, और सैम्स ने
Hmm.
तीन लिए, तो यू आर स्टिल इन द गेम, यू आर नॉट आउट ऑफ इट। सो
Hmm.
दैट इज द ओनली प्रॉब्लम एंड दैट आई थिंक इज देयर इन एनी लीग, कि अगर if you need only one or two players to win the game, then it's anyways a bad game for most people. But अगर ज़्यादा option है and everybody is contributing, तो it's still a good game to be part of.
Totally. And this one's on you, sir.
सर आई थिंक वीरेंद्र encapsulated that very well. जैसे अगर आप डिसाइड करते हो कि मुझे 10 गेम खेलने हैं, तो आपके पास इतने पैसे पहले आपके वॉलेट में होने चाहिए कि आप वो 10 के 10 पैसे हारो तो भी थोड़ा पैसा बचना चाहिए, एंड दैट इज हाउ यू हैव टू डिसाइड योर इन्वेस्टमेंट फॉर द गेम। अगर आप सोच रहे हो कि यार लेट्स टेक अ वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल फॉर ऑल टू अंडरस्टैंड, 1000 रुपये आपको हर गेम में 100 रुपये डालने हैं आपको, तो आपके जेब में एटलीस्ट 1000 रुपये होने चाहिए, और वो 1000 चले गए तो 1000 दूसरे कहाँ से आएंगे ये भी बंदोबस्त होना चाहिए। उसके बाद ही यू शुड स्टार्ट प्लेइंग विद दोस 1000। फिर अगर 10 गेम है तो उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट ऐसा होना चाहिए कि 100 100 100 रुपये के आपने 10 गेम खेले, बट वो 100 रुपये जो आपने डाला, व्हेन यू विन यू शुड बी गेटिंग एटलीस्ट 300 और 400 रुपीज बैक, और इफ
On
नॉट
that
दैट
game.
एटलीस्ट गेट योर इन्वेस्टमेंट बैक। तो उससे क्या होगा कि ये देर आर थ्री टाइप्स ऑफ गेम। एक आपका एवरेज गेम, क्या 100 डाला 150 मिले या 200 मिले। एक एकदम बदतर गेम, 100 डाला 1 रुपया नहीं मिला। बट द बेस्ट गेम दैट इज लाइकली टू बी कमिंग इन वन इन 10 गेम्स इज 100 का 1000 मिला। तो व्हाट यू हैव टू एम इज, जब आपको 100 का 1000 मिल रहा है, दैट्स व्हेन यू हैव टू मेक द मोस्ट ऑफ इट। वो लीग्स आइडेंटिफाई करना काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि, क्योंकि अगर आपको एक गेम में 10 गेम का इन्वेस्टमेंट मिल रहा है तो आप सोचो आपको फिर अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट चेंज नहीं करनी, नेक्स्ट 9 मैचेस भी आपको 100 100 100 ही खेलने। इट्स ओनली व्हेन यू गेट दैट एक्स्ट्रा बफर मोर देन वंस इज व्हेन यू कैन डिसाइड दैट ओके लेट मी फर्स्ट विड्रॉ सम अमाउंट, और क्योंकि मेरा फिक्स प्लान है कि मुझे 1000 रुपये रखने हैं, तो देन यू कैन प्ले विद दोस 1000 रुपीज एंड देन ग्रेजुअली यू कैन इंक्रीज। So, जैसे वीरेन said, discipline, have equal investment in all games and have play equal contest in every game, ताकि अगर एक गेम बुरा जाए तो सडनली स्ट्रैटेजी चेंज मत करो, सेम कॉन्टेस्ट खेलो नेक्स्ट गेम में, थर्ड गेम में, फोर्थ गेम, 10वें गेम तक भी अगर आपको 1000 रुपये मिल रहे हैं 100 का, तो आप स्टिल यू आर
The
ब्रेकिंग
job is
इवन।
done.
तो
Hmm.
ये थिंक अबाउट इट इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर मनी एंड योर इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड योर कॉन्टेस्ट, और फिर खेलो तो थोड़ा रिलैक्सिंग हो जाता है। हारोगे भी ना तो भी वो स्ट्रेस नहीं आता, क्योंकि आपको पता है आप क्यों हारे, और ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है कि आप लक से हारे कि आपके मिस्टेक से हारे।
Yes, and someone asking which league. So I've already pinned a group on my
या
Telegram which has like a league breakup, whether you play $100 a match, $200 a match. I've already pinned that, so you can use that for reference.
Yep.
I, even I do the same thing, Mayank. I do exactly the same thing with my
सर ये बड़े
diversification.
लोग
So
तो
that's a
ग्रैंड लीग
good
जीतते,
approach.
आप किधर मतलब बात कर रहे हो? आपके लिए अलाउड नहीं है, आप आपका अलग डिस्कशन करो। ग्रैंड लीग जीतने वालों बंदों को इन्वेस्टमेंट कहाँ करना है उसका टेंशन नहीं होता।
Is backing players in fantasy games also does matters, or player reputation matters? No, if you feel like in a scenario or in a specific series or tournament you have decided that a certain player will give you bang for your buck, and if you're playing leagues like Nikhil Bhai mentioned give you 8 to 10x return, then you just need one game to do it for you. So
या
reputation is not something that you should take into account into fantasy. And here I'm going to say something which can cause me a lot of backlash, is unless you're picking Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma, otherwise you might get a lot of abuse on your Twitter handle.
नहीं नहीं, सिंपल लॉजिक ये है कि आपका जो फैंटेसी ऐप है वो आपको उस प्लेयर के पॉइंट्स के पैसे देता है, वो प्लेयर
उसको
के
पिक
पैसे नहीं
करने
देता।
के नहीं।
हाँ, तो दैट्स द बॉटम लाइन।
टोटली।
सॉरी, कभी
Okay,
कभी
so I
सबको
guess
प्रवचन जैसा लगता है।
and I guess
कभी
we have stretched our time here. We have
या
gone way over 30 minutes, and
यस,
everyone,
थोड़ा
all the
प्रवचन जैसा हो
35
गया
people
सबके
here,
लिए।
all the 35 people who are here till now, thank you for your patience and
यस,
hearing us so
थैंक यू सो मच।
patiently. Please go ahead, like this video, share it with
यस,
whoever you feel that it'll be useful with, and subscribe and
या,
stay tuned so we can keep getting these previews to you. And apart
यस,
from that, yes, the women's tournament is going to start, so we'll just discuss internally and let you know based on that when we'll do the live for the next game. So don't worry about that.
ओके, यस, डेफिनेटली।
Thank you, Nikhil bhai.
थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन, हैव अ गुड गेम।